Weekly Rewind.
Now, obviously, there's a big game tonight, the Saints and the Lions. A lot of fantasy players are counting on guys from that matchup. It's not a matchup that's absent of, the Cooks and Stafford and Breeze and Hightower and a bunch of big names and Calvin, which we'll see what he does tonight. But here's the big news. The first piece that I alluded to, Schefter is reporting this morning that Odell Beckham Jr. is likely to be suspended one game.
Likely?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So Week 15 against Norman, just a mental
unraveling.
Yeah, almost like a childlike tantrum. I mean, he made a huge drop, and then it got in his head, and Norman got into his head, and he acted like a kid, and then he tried to
kill Josh Norman,
hurt Josh Norman, which was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people who love Odell Beckham Jr. who kind of lost a lot of respect for him, watching him be this self-centered, selfish baby that really lost control. And I'm going to forgive him because, that happens. He's still, in his sophomore
Fantasy
year.
forgiveness?
Well, here's the deal. This news, whether or not he's suspended, affects so many people because Odell Beckham Jr. over the second half of the year has been unbelievably good, meaning he has a lot of people in the title game, and people that are going to the title game who don't have him are facing him, a la me.
And the value of one Eli Manning would take a monster
nosedive.
So I agree. I don't know about likely suspended.
He can appeal the suspension.
Yeah, you still have that whole process.
That will all get sorted out though quickly. In my opinion,
I highly doubt that he's suspended this week. And let's say this: this is a big all eyes on the NFL. The Giants are the Sunday night prime time game. Will they suspend possibly the biggest star in that game as of right now?
I think they will suspend him. He will appeal. He will play and be suspended later.
I think he's going to get just a big fine.
We'll see. It is pins and needles for all the ODB owners and those playing ODB. I mean, the guy put together a second half that probably, to his mind, justified his behavior. I mean, honestly, that's what happens with hyper-talented guys sometimes. He goes out and he basically almost wins the game. A humongous comeback, one of the best games I've seen all year. All right, injury news. Adrian Peterson, sprained ankle against the Bears. What do we expect from that injury?
He left the game right before the half. He did come back in, but he was not very effective. We saw Jerick McKinnon turn into the screen master. He was just dominant catching the ball. So that's interesting moving forward regardless. But for Peterson, I would expect him to play. I haven't heard anything about it being a high ankle sprain, so it'll be a tape it up.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to
come
back in the game if it was too bad of an ankle sprain. And we have to remember he has Wolverine blood. He heals like nobody else. So I expect him to be back this next week. I expect both Odell Beckham Jr. and Adrian Peterson to play. I am hoping against both of them as the person in the championship plays because I'm a selfish man.
Well, let's keep the focus on the big context. Marcus Mariota sprain is the word, probably out for the rest of the year. He said he's probably out for the rest of the year. They'll just keep him out as a precaution. No reason to hurt your franchise quarterback. LeSean McCoy, knee injury. They're saying MCL sprain day-to-day on McCoy. You're going to have to monitor that. We'll keep you in the know about McCoy for this upcoming week. He obviously was one of many candidates for destroyer of your dreams this week.
And it looked worse than if he's walking out with just a sprain, then you got to be really happy.
He seems to be capable of this, where he just never suffers the devastating injury, but he's had like 5 knee injuries this year, it feels like, where they're just sprains or strains and he comes back.
Well, it was the hamstring earlier.
Well, no, but there was a knee too.
Yeah, but his legs are.
I'm just saying he doesn't go down. He hasn't gone down for big injuries.
He has gelatin-like legs.
There was news on Saturday afternoon, I believe, about AJ Green and an updated injury report with his back, and then he ended up going out in this game and being held out the rest of this game. And so AJ Green was another guy that really killed people this week.
Twitter kind of tilted when all that news was starting to come out of like he's questionable to play, And then you have some other people jump in once he's out there, like, man, that report was such crap. I don't know why we're spreading this around. And then he leaves the game with a back injury. You're like, Twitter, who do I believe?
Yeah, it's very scary, and your head starts spinning when that bits of news come in, and you don't know what to do, and it's hard to make the right decision. Danny Amendola is another guy. If you played him, one catch, a fumble, hurt, you're gone. Ouch.
But yeah, that was brutal. He got the only thing that can be worse than a 0, and that is negative.
Yeah. Yeah. Alshon Jeffrey went down again, this time with a hamstring problem. He caught, I believe, one pass for a touchdown. So if you played him, you weren't destroyed by him.
Wait, it was his hamstring, not his calf?
Correct.
Dude, that guy's legs are a mess. I mean, because it was the calf keeping him out of practice this week, and now the hamstring, his quad is about to blow.
It's the whole leg, all of it.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. It just moves up and down.
Really hard to trust him this next week in a championship match. We've just seen him actually hampered on the field too many times this year.
Melvin Gordon injured. Yeah, you know who was not injured?
Danny Woodhead. I need to publicly apologize.
Do you?
To someone, yes.
Do you really?
I do. I absolutely need to.
All right,
because
go ahead.
We had made the joke last week that Danny Woodhead was retired because even though he was so great at the beginning of the year, they have forgotten to use him. And so someone tweeted asking me CJ Anderson or Danny Woodhead. And
But listen to this line, Jason. Danny Woodhead, 8 carries for 10 yards.
That's no good. I was right to say CJ Anderson.
Oh, wait a second. 6 for 50 and 3 touchdowns through the air, and he scored on those 8 carries on the ground.
Yeah, so he was really good this week. Hope you played him.
Here's his last 5 weeks. 2.7, 8.1, 5.2, 3.1, 34.
Yeah, there's no way that you had any confidence playing him. I know that some people out there had him.
That's a painful decision, though, if you went CJ.
But it's more of a Chargers management. What are you doing? What have you been doing for 5 weeks?
Well, if Gordon is out now, if for any reason he's not able to get back next week, that gives you more confidence to play him. They're playing the Raiders on this championship week coming up. So Raiders have been really good against the run, but Danny Woodhead really makes his value in the air. So I think he'd be an okay play if Gordon's out.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those days for Danny Woodhead. I don't know. Do we know the implications of the injury for Gordon?
No.
We don't know yet, right? Because I haven't seen anything other than the fact he was just downgraded to out in the second half with a knee injury. So left knee.
I will take a look right now and see if
you find anything else, just so people know. More for the Woodhead owner. I don't know if a lot of people are counting on Gordon in the playoffs.
Left knee injury.
Yeah.
He went down on a draw play, and there's no update yet.
Another guy, big start of the week this week, Ted Ginn Jr. had 2 more touchdowns. Did go out of the game with an injury for a little while. Came back in later. Monitor him. TJ Yates tore his ACL and also got me watered because I bet him versus McCarron, I think.
I'll let you off the hook on that one.
Because of the injury?
And McCarron didn't do that great anyways.
That's appreciated. Yeah. But I'm not letting you off the hook on the Lamar Miller carries.
That's fine. No, I deserve water on me. And actually, Lamar Miller and the coaching staff deserve water on them more than anyone.